Hi everyone, welcome back to another lockdown episode of the AmBIssadors. Who would have thought that we would still be doing this on Zoom in September? Oh my gosh.
I'm over it. I'm really over it.
I'm so over it. It's been, what, 5 months now?
I'm so exhausted. I'm like, please let it be over, please.
So I see you wearing a very nice new t-shirt. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so very recently we launched the new line of t-shirts with Rainbow & Co. So I am wearing the Bisexual Man Exist one, obviously. But we also really celebrate bi women and celebrate bi non-binary, which is really exciting. So it was the hashtags that were created earlier in this year. Well, I created mine last year, but also it blew up this year, and I messaged Rainbow and was like, I want to see merch for this, and I know that you're doing very incredibly inclusive. Like, if you go onto their website, like even if you're not bisexual, anyone watching who is any other form of sexuality, go on their website. They have something for pretty much everyone. Like, it's incredible. So they're really cool, and they already donate money to various organizations. And I was like, I want to do this, and I want to donate money to bisexual organizations. And so we teamed up with Bi Survivors Network, yourself,
Thank you.
Biscuit. We did have London by Pandas, but they have unfortunately closed down, which is very sad.
Very sad.
And also Pies of Colour. So £5 on the sale of each shirt will go to those charities. So I highly recommend everyone go and buy one. So like, you both support a small LGBTQ plus owned business and bisexual organizations. So
what more could you want? And also, I think if people take pictures in their shirts, they should tag the AmBIssadors, and we'll obviously retweet them to our Twitter.
Yes, definitely. And if you want to tag me as well, I'll retweet it. I'll retweet it regardless. So,
You're searching the tag.
Yeah, I'm just like, come on.
So, as by the time this video comes out, it will be September, which is Biovisibility Month. This video, we thought we'd talk about bi culture, one of our favorite memes, and how that's come about because of increased bi visibility. And I think our other videos this month are going to be kind of about bi visibility, right? Maybe we'll do a Bi Visibility Day episode.
Yeah, we still need to figure out what we're doing for this month. We're very organized.
Well, I will say that the Bi Survivors Network and Biscuit and a few other organizations have a little surprise coming for anyone who lives in London for Bi Visibility Week. So keep an eye out for that if you're in London. So on bi culture, it's my favorite meme. I love it. What is bi culture to you, Vaneet?
So for me, everyone always says that bi culture is finger guns. And I remember I was like, I don't get it because I never finger gun. And then I realized that I just didn't realize that I finger gunned all the time. And I was like, it was like a glass shatter moment where like one time I just finger gunned and I was like, wait, I do that a lot. Oh no, I finger gun all the time. How do they not realize? And they had like a bit of a mini breakdown. I was like, oh god. That, and also not being able to sit in your chair properly, which is very hard when you're doing these videos.
Yeah, whenever we film together, I see you like moving around.
And it's just like, I can't sit still, please. This isn't right. I should be like sitting the other way around with my legs up, like just doing stupid crap. So that's what the main bi culture parts are for me. How about you?
You've also got actually the bi bob a little bit going on.
I do.
So the bi
Someone
bob.
pointed it out to me, and I was like, I'm just a cliche. Everyone always says peace sign. Wow, but I feel like I picked that up from like my anime obsession, but let's say both.
Anime is bi. You heard it here first, folks. We've claimed all of anime. Because Korra, Legend of Korra, she has the bi bob. And Marley, is it Marceline? I can't pronounce that name, from Adventure Time. She's a bi bob.
Yeah, and it's funny because like Cora was straight until the final season. And then at the final season, she got the bob and had to be bi. And everyone was like, right. So they were actually like they were trying to hint at it with the bi bob. It's like, I don't know if they know bi culture that well to have done that, but let's go with it.
You've got the bi bob, and then I've got the other cliche bi haircut, which is a side shave.
The side shave and the weird color.
So when you can't decide if you want your hair short or a bit longer, because you can't decide on anything, so you have both.
Like, funnily enough, there were times where I wondered whether I should just like shave this side. And I'm like, that's not helping. You're just doing what everyone else is doing.
Getting further into the cliche. Yeah. I think as well one of my I think ironic indecisiveness is one of my favorite like bi cliches as well, of like, you know, that meme of like, are you a leather jacket bi, a denim jacket bi, or a flannel bi? And then it's like everyone has said all of them.
Yeah, I think I saw one website was like, are you a Converse bi or a Vans bi? And so many people were like, both. And I was like, yeah, I own both. I prefer Converses, but yeah, no. Okay. We're just being bisexual even when we're being bisexual. This is ridiculous. Can we just make a choice?
So I recently asked on Twitter what bi culture means to people, because it's the final chapter of my book is about bi community and bi culture. And someone told me that apparently in British Sign Language, there's about 6 different signs for bi. And the joke is that the reason there's so many is because the bi people can't make enough of a decision to even have one sign.
I think the person who was signing at bi pride, so I had a friend who was doing some of the sign stuff, and he told me that bi was this, I think it was, something like that, yeah. And I didn't realize that there were so many, but he was saying the same thing to me. It was like, we don't pick the sign. They were like, oh, why is there not a sign for this? Why do you spell it out? And it's like, because it's not our job to make up the sign. It's the community who has to tell us. Because like that's overstepping. And I was like, oh, I actually agree with that. So if the bisexual people can't make up their mind, we're just never gonna have a sign everyone agrees on.
Yeah. And I love it that way. I think me and you should learn all of the signs for it.
We should just use that as like a way to communicate. So you know how the new meme for like, are they, you know, this? We should just do that for bisexual. Like, are they, you know?
Yes. On bi culture again, I love the meme of are they, you know, tucks in the shirt.
I honestly only started doing that recently.
Oh my god, I love it.
Now I just keep doing it, and I'm like, oh, this is terrible. I'm just getting further and further into it.
The other day, I went out for like the first time in months, like somewhere that wasn't just a walk, to meet someone, and I had on Vans. I had like cuffed my jeans and I had my t-shirt tucked in, and I was like, oh my god, I'm a walking cliche right now.
I love that. I think one of the most important like bi-culture things we need to talk about, which is the one that you're an expert on, is puns.
I do love bi puns. They are the best.
Like the reason why we have the AmBIssadors is because you came up with it. Like the reason why we have Do Better by Us is because of you. Like you come up with so many, and like you just do it all the time. It's just like, oh, like it was a video with Mel. And we're like, did you ever think of calling it Bistery? And I was like,
oh my god, it's honestly becoming a problem in my life. I do it like so often, but it's like not even related to any bi stuff. Like my friends would just be having a conversation, and I would just like make a bi pun about it, and they're like, "Oh my god, please just stop."
like, I love puns, but I do not have that level of wit to come up with them.
Yes,
but
you do.
just like seeing people like you who just like come up with them on the fly, I'm like, how are you doing this with your brain?
I just channel it, like the energy of all my bi ancestors comes through me.
The bi ancestors, incredible.
I guess because even the flag I made, the Antifa one, I've been calling my Bantifa flag.
How do you do it? Like every single opportunity.
So I guess we should talk a bit more about like the serious side of the biculture meme, which is about like biovisibility. Because for me, some like research I've been doing and some writing I've been doing is about how this meme is so salient and like such a thing because bi people have been like denied our part of like queer culture and our part of queer history. So, obviously in queer like other like queer cultures, you have like gay male culture is stereotypically quite like camp and it's like drag and all of that kind of stuff. And then for lesbians, it's like flannel and U-hauling and adopting 100 cats with your gal pal. Like historically, bi people have always been a part of like those communities and those like subcultures, but because of like bi erasure, our like part has either been erased or like denied to us.
Yeah.
And so now that like the kids, the young people on the internet are being able to find each other so much more easily, they're saying like, where are our like jokey stereotypes? Where's our like subculture and aesthetics? And so we've just claimed everything.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much what we did. We claimed both sides and then just took it to a new level. Like, I remember I was talking to someone and they were talking about how it's gays who can't sit in chairs properly. And I was like, well, you might not be able to do that, but bisexual people just won't sit in the chair at all. And they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, there have been regular occasions where I will sit on the table and put my feet on the chair. And I do that all the time. Like, there was like one time we were in a pub and we were outside and there was like one of those like picnic benches. And I sat on the table and put my feet on the spare part of the seating. And I'm like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, just what? Like, do you not do this? I don't understand.
I've been to like so many things where the majority of people there are bi, like whether it's a bi focused event or just like most of my friends. And we just like on the floor, on the table, on like the counters, just like we just refuse to sit in the chair at all.
Yeah. I think people were using that with Eleanor in The Good Place as well, because there was a scene where she obviously talked about like fancying Tahani and all that. And then there was a scene where she was sitting on the desk. Like, everyone else is standing or sitting on chairs, and she's sitting on the desk with her feet on the chair. And everyone's like, why is she doing that? And every single bisexual person was like, bisexual. You know what that means.
She has the bi bob as well, actually, kind of.
Yeah, she does.
Oh my god. It's such a thing. And I used to have it, like before I cut my hair off, I also had a bi bob. We are unstoppable.
I think what I really love is how people then use a lot of the memes to express their anger or upset or annoyance. Like with the bisexual man exist one, my friend made a meme for me, which then trended wildly. But it was the Scooby-Doo meme where it's like putting off the ghost sheet. And it was like, well, let's see who's really underhand. It said bisexual. Let's see who's really underhand. They pulled it off and it said bisexual but now annoyed. And I was like, that kind of sums it up. Because I think bisexual people, I've spoken about this before, but I feel like bisexual people have a lot of anger, but it's very justified because we feel very lost and it's very frustrating and no one cares at all. And so a lot of bi people have a lot of pent-up anger. And that's very much what it is. It's like everyone will deny us. And they'll be like, who is this really? And it's like, we're just annoyed now. We're the same thing. We're just annoyed.
I think bi rage is also like part of bi culture. That is kind of the fact that we're always ready to fight. We're always ready to like get into an argument about bi erasure or bi stereotypes or anything like that. Like, we are the most fighty group of people I've ever.
It just reminds me of Scott Pilgrim, and it was like, I was just bi curious. It's like, well, I'm a little bit bi furious, and I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I think being bi furious is like the absolute epitome of bi culture.
100%.
But I know a lot of people were annoyed by this meme, but I think it's really positive because often the only like representation, and I say representation loosely, the only like time bi people are talked about or like allowed to talk is when we're like talking about our issues or there's like discourse happening online. or it's like bad representation. Whereas this is bi culture meme is something that like young bisexual people can like grab onto, that's kind of positive and funny, and it's not people like denying their sexuality, it's not people arguing about their identity or misrepresenting them, or talking about, you know, how much the bi community is like drowning, which we are. But we need to have like that positivity and that fun. And I think something that I've been writing about in my book, which I'm really excited to like share with people in this last chapter, is just like that resilience and humor in the face of like so much marginalization is what defines bi culture for me. And I think that the fact that bi culture itself becoming a meme, and the way that that's like a play on our invisibility and erasure, just like sums up the bi community. Bi culture is bi culture.
I think that's really important as well, because I was speaking to a few people for my book, and there was one person who originally was sort of seen to be gay, and when they came out as bi, they got a lot of backlash. But the bi community ran in and just swooped them up and supported them. And they think that is bi culture in its very essence. It is that resilience, it is that strength, it is that community and that support that, you know, you will say, yeah, the LGBTQ plus community has that, but there's a lot of big issues in there. I'm not saying the bi community doesn't have the issues, but we really do stand up for each other and support each other, because there's so few of us who are out there and are visible, and we need to help each other as in any way that we possibly can.
Yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, like I said, I think it's really positive. Like when a community comes together and is able to see each other, you get these subcultures starting to form, and that's like what we're seeing is a subculture of bisexuality starting to form. And I'm super excited to like see where it goes, and to see in like 10 years time what are the like jokes that are so mainstream that even like cishet people are making them about bi people. Because I remember people saying like, oh, if lesbians wear like flannel, what do bi girls wear? And now I can say like, well, we cuff our jeans and we tuck our top in. Whereas like, it's cool to have that like that visibility, even if it's based on a joke.
Yeah, I think the finger guns one is one of my favorites, because you can just be like, hey.
Hey.
You can even do that instead of "Are you this?" It's like, "Are you this?"
Exactly. It's like a shorthand, you know, for flagging ourselves and for like communicating. I think it's really, I love it. I love bi culture.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it also just gives us something nice to hold on to rather than the negative, and it gives us something to laugh over. Like every time I don't sit properly, and everyone's like, "Oh, the bisexuals at it again," and I'm like, "Yeah."
But I also think it's important to talk about how like another big part of the bi movement has been kind of creating space rather than creating an in-group. And whilst like bi culture is really fun and I love it, like obviously if you don't do any of those things, like if you don't sit wrong, you don't cuff your jeans, or you don't like have a bi bob, that doesn't exclude you in any way or make you like less valid. It's just fun, right? It's just a bit of fun.
Yeah, and I think it's like bi people are so into just like creating new parts of bi culture, just taking everything. That someone will be like, "Oh, I don't do any of those things, but I do this." It's like, "Cool, that's bi culture now." There you go.
We own it. Totally agree. So I guess people should share with us their favorite parts of bi culture and their favorite bi memes, and we will retweet them, as well as their pictures of them in their amazing Bi Men Exist or Celebrate Bi Women or Celebrate Bi Non-Binary t-shirts.
Yes, definitely, I agree.
And I guess happy Biovisibility Month, because it's September, and even though we're all stuck inside, we can still be visible.
Plus, I mean, you've got your exciting project that's going to make us visible.
Keep your eyes open in London across Biovisibility Week.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for listening, everyone, and we'll sign you off with a Finger gun.
See you next time.